Yes, how we doing, people? I hope you're well. Happy weekend to you, and good morning, afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening around the world. I thought I'd do a little bit of a last-minute stream because there is some breaking news in relation to Zubimendi. I think a lot of people were expecting there to be some news breaking. I don't think we quite expected it to be this soon, to be fair. So, do you know what? I'm here for it. Hopefully, it's the first of a many. Well, hopefully, people are hoping, I suppose, or anticipating or estimating a busy summer. So, I hope it's the first of many new signings at Arsenal. It's good to do a live one. It's good to get you guys here. Big up to everyone that's in the chat. Please do me a favor, people, because we are very close now to 40K. It is incredible. If you please could hit subscribe now, we will get there. It is a very close call now. We are very close to the big 4-0. And I can't believe we are this quick. It's quite incredible. We're only 10 away from 39.6, which means we're only 410 away from 40K, which I hoped that I would get this season. And now it looks very likely. So please do hit the like and subscribe button. Now, it would be great if you can. 4-0. Can you believe it? Wow. 4-0. I remember when I had 40 people watching me once live, let alone 40,000 of you that are now subscribed. Incredible. So please make sure you get us to the big 4-0. It'd be amazing. Apologies, I will say as well, my lighting has gone. I've ordered a new light, so hopefully in the next few days that will come. It's been absolutely horrendous, my lighting, since that's gone. I was with troops the other day and it just went boom, and it's gone. So I've only now got one. I used to have two either side of me that used to look lovely, but now not good. And my light bulb in here is knackered. So it's not the best at the moment. And I hoped with the sunny day that more sun would come through at this time of day, but it's not. I don't know if it's better actually without my light on. No, that looks even worse. So it has to be like that. Apologies, people. Anyway, hit the like and subscribe. And we'll talk a little bit about this breaking news, shall we? Because it has been announced that it looks like it's a here we go. As far as Fabrizio Romano is concerned, anyway. The here we go news was broke this morning. What time was that? Must have been 8 a.m. There we go. 8 o'clock in the morning. This morning I woke up to, the news that it looks like Zubimendi will be Arsenal's first signing. Now, Andrea Berta has been busy already, clearly, but I will say, and give some credit where credit's due, this was a deal that has been done way before the time, to be fair, of Andrea Berta. So it is the news that we all wanted to hear. Zubimendi fans, you should be happy. Liverpool fans hate him. They'll be in tears. Well, they won't be in tears too long because they just won the Premier League, but you get my point. They will not be a fan of Arsenal getting Zubimendi. Now, of course, what they are going to believe, or they're going to hope now, is that things go wrong for us just like it did for them. But Romano has suggested that Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign Martin Zubimendi from Sociedad. Here we go. Now, when he says here we go, he's not normally wrong. Zubimendi has now verbally agreed to sign a long-term deal, so formal steps must follow soon, with Arsenal triggering the 60 million release clause, which is around about 53 million pounds, I think, something like that. Zubi is ready to become the first signing of the new season, and they have put him in the new kit. Now, of course, he won't actually be using that kit or wearing that kit, because that's this season's kit. The new kit that he will be wearing will be out in club shops for the Newcastle game. And that is not because we're dropping new merch in a bad period of time like we have done in the last couple of days. That is just, I think every club does that. I think the last home game is usually the first day that they release the kit for new season. So everyone, of course, can get it ready for the new season. So Zubimendi is here we go. That's come from Fabrizio Romano. It's not an unreliable source like some believe. I think this is a very interesting bit of news, and I'll tell you why. The reason I think it's interesting is not just because I think it's a good signing. I want to see what happens now with the future of Arsenal's midfield, and I've had a little bit of a play around with it today. There's quite a lot of people suggesting that we need a new 6. There's quite a lot suggesting we need a new 8, and there's quite a lot suggesting we need a creative midfielder. I'll be brutally honest with you guys. We need all 3. And I'm not saying we need all 3 to start, but we need 3 midfielders. Now, let me tell you why. Jorginho is going to Flamengo. That has been announced. The other day it was announced when it broke on my screen that he is now no longer interested in staying with Arsenal, looking at his coaching badges and all that stuff. Maybe one day he will come back and do that. But for me right now, it looks like Flamengo is his destination. And fair play to him. He'll go back to Brazil at the age of 32, 33, and I'm sure he'll have a good career over there for a couple of years before he decides what he wants to do in retirement or into coaching. So Jorginho will be gone. Then you have a question mark over Thomas Partey. A lot of people are suggesting they want Thomas Partey to stay, and I am one of those. I know he had a shocker the other night, by the way, and it was disappointing that he missed the first leg. However, I'll say this. I think he's been the best midfielder for Arsenal this season. People might look at the back end of the season and say that Declan Rice's performances in a couple of games at the box-to-box role has been our best, but Thomas Partey across the season has been our best player, without a doubt. I think when Thomas Partey came to Arsenal, he was always supposed to be that focal point in midfield. Injuries have always had a play on that. But when you look at what Thomas Partey has done in the 6 at Arsenal, it's been absolutely worth the £45 million that we got him for. I do think he's one of the best 6s in Europe. I don't think he is in Rodri's level. I don't think he's of Casemiro of old, or when you look at Sergio Busquets level, I don't think he's been in any of that bracket, but he's certainly in the bracket down from that. I don't think you'll look at Thomas Partey's performances and ever see him play less than maybe a 6. And if he plays a 4 or a 5, it's very, very, very rare that he does that. I think he's a very good player. And I do think that Thomas Partey at the age of 30 to 31 now has got one more contract left in him. Now, if we do give him another contract, he is going to want to stay on 250. He is. He's not going to be going, I'll tell you what, I'll stay at Arsenal. I'll take a £100,000 wage cut and stay for another year with an option of another year. He's going to want to stay on similar money to what he's on. Yeah, we're going to have to pay him a bare minimum of 200 a week. Now, if he wants to do that and stay at Arsenal for another season with another season of an extension, absolutely do it. Absolutely do it. Because for me, even with Zubimendi potentially coming in now, Partey has to be the backup as well. Because for me, I look at the scenario of Partey and Zubimendi. I think that is a very, very good upgrade on Jorginho. And Partey is going to be there as your squad player. Now, some people, and I can see it in the chat, are suggesting that Zubimendi isn't even better than Thomas Partey. I really don't know, people. I do not watch La Liga every week, but I do watch Thomas Partey every week. If I watched Zubimendi every week, I'd be able to tell you. I've seen him for Spain. I've seen glimpses in Europa League games. I've seen glimpses when he's played in either Champions League or Europa or Europe, basically. Real Sociedad are not a team that I watch every week. They're just not. So I do know this. Zubimendi is a 6. Thomas Partey is a 6. There's no place for both of them in the first 11. And it looks like Zubimendi is his guy. Now, I've got nothing wrong with this signing. Nothing wrong with it at all. I actually think he is one of the better holding midfielders in the world at the moment. Zubimendi is the one that people are speaking about. He's not on the level of Rodri, but he's at a good age. 26. It's not like he's in a position where he's been around forever. He's ready now. He's ready to come in now. He's always had time at Real Sociedad and has been clearly their best player. He's not a goal scorer, of course, from midfield. In fact, he's only scored 9 goals, but that's not what we're behind him for. And what frustrates a lot of people is that the first signing is not a striker. I hear that, people. I hear that. But let's just be real. I don't feel like it's the main signing. I think this is the first. I think the main signing will be in the attack area. Please, I mean, I'm crossing everything here that we buy. Imagine we don't buy another attacker this summer. Oh my God, it would kick off. It would absolutely kick off. But I'm a fan from what I see of Zubimendi. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I watch him every week and know his attributes. All I do know of is that he's a holding midfielder. He's a brilliant passer of the ball. He's great at tempo, keeping the ball going. He's good with transition. He's got a little bit of techers. I've seen little clips of him and little scenarios. I remember when Manchester City and Liverpool both linked with him and they were getting very excited because of the reels that they'd seen. So it looks like it's done. And I don't think there's any questions about who do you want if he doesn't come now, Dan, because well, it looks like he's coming. I think the big question mark now is with Thomas Partey. What does he do? Does he stay? Does he want to stay now Zubimendi's coming in, or does he believe that there's a better offer? Because he's getting offers, by the way. It's not like, oh, he's got Arsenal as his only destination. Atletico Madrid are interested. Barcelona apparently were linked with him. Juventus have wanted him for quite some time. So there's definite links in Italy and Spain that Thomas Partey might consider or at least look at. Now, if they can offer him more money, he's going to go there. If they offer him a 2-year and he goes and sits over there on 300k a week, he's going to go there. If we are to try and keep him on 250 with 1 year and a 1 year extension and say, look, you're going to be a squad player because Zubimendi's coming in and we've got Rice, I don't know that he's going to be, if I'm honest, interested in that. So I think that's now going to be very interesting. He's going to go where he's wanted, isn't he? Thomas Partey. He's happy in London from what we hear. He doesn't want to move away. His family is settled. He does not want to leave the country. However, he would for first team football and for a move that's going to be the last big one of his career. I want him to stay. There were rumours from David Ornstein suggesting that Thomas Partey was in talks with Arsenal and that they're offering him a 1-year deal with a 1-year extension. And I hope that is the case. I hope that is the case. I do not want there to be a scenario where Thomas Partey ends up leaving because of, and it's a silly fallout. Just give the guy what he wants. Let's keep him in the squad. We do not want to make it weaker. He's been our best midfielder. What I don't want, and what this is actually my biggest worry, guys, right? I'm still waiting for Kieran Tierney to be upgraded on. I'm still waiting for Granit Xhaka to be upgraded on. I'm still waiting for Aubameyang to be upgraded on. I don't want to have to sit there and wait for Partey to have to be upgraded on as well. So what I mean by that is, am I disappointed Zubimendi's coming in? Absolutely not. But is he an upgrade on Partey? Because if Partey's the 6th still next season because he's better, cool. Zubimendi waits his time. That's what a big club does. They don't go and buy someone who's worse than what you've got. Unfortunately, Arsenal have not been able to upgrade on some of those players that I've mentioned. Because when he walked into the door, he had Emi Martinez, and I wouldn't say Ray is an upgrade on him. I think he's good, but I don't think he's a massive, massive upgrade on Emi Martinez. Kieran Tierney, I've not seen a massive upgrade on. I've not seen a huge upgrade on Xhaka, and I've not seen a huge upgrade on Aubameyang. The other positions, you can say, yeah, I think Saka's better than Pepe, and you can look at the midfield with Partey and say he's an upgrade on Ceballos, whoever it was in the time. Odegaard, upgrade on Ceballos. Partey's an upgrade on, who did we have? Was it Torreira when he walked in? So we've done some really good work to upgrade on them. But I'm just not too sure, if I'm honest, that we've upgraded on all those positions. And that's what we want to do this summer. And Andrea Berta, of course, we're looking towards. Now, what I will say quickly about Andrea Berta, he ain't a miracle worker, right? So as much as I'd love to say he's going to go and find us the next Zidane and the next Ronaldinho, let's just hold fire and hold our horses and be realistic. I have got nothing wrong with Andrea Berta coming in and bringing in 2 players that I'm questioning, thinking, what is he bringing him in for? Now, of course, I don't want him coming in at 39 and I don't want him coming in at 17. At the same time, if he goes and buys a 26-year-old that I've not really heard of or a 23-year-old, I'm going to trust Andrea Berta until I can't, right? And that's the rule of life. I'm going to trust this person until they tell me that I really can't. And then I'm never going to trust them again. So for me, when I look at Andrea Berta, I think, yeah, he got some misses over at Atletico Madrid. Of course he did. It's part of the job. But look at the absolute 100% hits that he got at Atletico Madrid. So if he's trying to move away from a striker that we want, I'm happy. If we're trying to move away from a winger that we wanted, I'm happy. If he wanted to try and move away from a goalkeeper backup we wanted, I'm happy because I trust him more than I do the likes of Arteta and co previously. Because let's just be real, they've got a lot wrong. And it's not Arteta's job to be a scout. Yeah? He can say, this is the sort of player I want. Andrea Berta, go get me it. And it's looking very similar to a player like him. Let's just take Nico Williams, for example. Then he can then either say, let's go and get Nico, or he can say, do you know what? That's the sort of type you want, but I know someone better. That's this job of Andrea Berta. Arteta's job just needs to be on the pitch now. Is he staying? Is he going? He's staying. There's no point having that debate anymore. Yeah, I'm sick of it, if I'm honest. He's staying. Don't like it. Get the cronkies out. That's my motto. We've got to get on with it. Unfortunately, we've got a busy summer coming up. We've got 3 poxy games to play that no one cares about, that everyone thinks just lose against Liverpool, Newcastle and Southampton. Who cares? No one gives a damn. Yeah, I think it's pretty much impossible that we can drop out the top 5 now unless we lose all of them heavily and the other results go against us. I think that's the way that we drop out of the top 5. So let's concentrate now on just getting the job done with those 3 games, and then it's a big summer, because there's no point talking about Mikel Arteta anymore. The board don't want to sack him. The manager's here. The owners is their guy. Now, next season, everyone says it's his last chance. Well, everyone said that this season, right? But now they're talking about another year. Another year. Give him another year under Andrea Berta. Right, well, that's where we're at, people. He's going to get another year under Andrea Berta. The fan base don't want to sack him, so he's staying. But let's concentrate on this for a second, because there is a lot that we can do in this midfield position. Now, let's have a look at what this might mean for Arsenal on a little tactics board here. I do want to talk about this and bring it up with you guys. Now, for me, we know there's certain positions that are set. Raya's going to be in goal. We don't expect him to be nowhere near Arsenal next season. Jurriën Timber's ahead of Ben White at right back. We've got William Saliba, which we'll come on to in a minute, and Gabriel over at the left side of the centre back. The left back position at the moment's up for grabs, but I believe it will probably be Lewis-Skelly and Calafiori that play there. We've got Saka, who's going to be here in the right-hand side, a striker that we all want, a left winger that we all want, and then we've got Ødegaard, who I think is going to remain as captain, unfortunately. There'll be more on that later, and he'll play in that role. Rice, I believe, is going to be in this position, and if Zubimendi's coming in, he'll be in the holding midfielder role. Now, there's 2 ways that we can look at this. We can use Zubimendi here, or we can use Zubimendi and Rice in a double pivot with Ødegaard floating around here. Now, the reason I am really torn on this position is because I don't know that Ødegaard's great here in the 10. I actually think, if you want my brutal, honest opinion, Ødegaard should be here, Rice should be here, and then we should go and get a proper attacking midfielder here. That's what I think should happen. However, that's not going to be the case. Ødegaard is going to stay here. He likes him on this right attacking midfield role. He's going to stay there. My opinion is we need backup to him and someone who can actually push him to actually start in this team. Whether it's Cunha, whether it's Eze, whether it's Alex Baena, whoever it be, we need somebody. Which means Rice is going to be in this box-to-box. Now, Rice is a really good engine. I love Rice here. Let me just show you what I like about Rice with his positioning. Let's start him here, right? I like him here. 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 Stop. I do not like him anywhere past this area. Unless he's hanging about here and the ball comes out to him and he's shooting. That is the only time that I like Declan Rice. When Declan Rice is here, or Declan Rice is here, or Declan Rice is here, I don't like it at all. He, for me, is an engine that goes like this, up and down. I want Declan Rice up and down, up and down, up and down. So for me, I like him in a double pivot or in the 6. Anywhere around this area is not fantastic for me. A lot of people disagree. So Rice is going to play here. Ødegaard's going to play here. Zubimendi's going to play here. That is what the next midfield is going to look like for Arsenal, in my opinion. Now, what that means is the only backups to each of our positions at the moment, if Partey and Jorginho go, is Rice is the backup to Zubimendi, Marino is the backup to Rice, and Ethan is the backup to Ødegaard. Is that strong enough? Is that strong enough? Some people say yes. I would argue no. Now, I think we need another box-to-box, if I'm honest. I think we need another box-to-box. That box-to-box that I would pick would be Reinders over at AC Milan. I think what he offers as an engine and what he offers on the ball technically is absolutely superb. I'm a big, big fan of him. Big fan. Now, I don't know that we're getting him, by the way, because he's not really linked with Arsenal. That would just be my option. Some people, they're interested in somebody a little bit more attacking in that role. Morgan Rogers, Morgan Gibbs-White. Those are the sort of names being mentioned. Eze. I would take 2 out of those 3. I like Eze and I like Rogers. Morgan Gibbs-White is an 8, if I'm honest, so it would work. But I'm not sure I'm a fan of his shooting. But I do like Morgan Rogers. I think he's brilliant. I think he's proven in the Champions League and this Premier League this season that he's been one of Villa's best players. And if I'm honest with you, I think Reinders would probably be my number one shout. Now, I don't know how much Rodgers and Reinders would cost. They'd probably cost an absolute bomb. And I don't expect us to sign both of them, by the way. But they're the sort of players that I'd like. If Eza is free, or Eze, whatever people call him, or Cunha, they're going to cost about 60 million. Reinders will probably cost about that. Rodgers will probably cost 70 or 75. English tax looks a lot like the next best thing in that position. Eze's been around for a while. He's 26, 27. Cunha, we know is around about 60 million in advanced talks with Man United. I don't think that one's happening. So this is why this surgery in midfield is so important. If we kept Partey, we'd have Partey and Zubimendi in the 6, Rice and Marino in the 8, Ødegaard and Nwaneri in the 10. Partey and Zubimendi I'm happy with. Rice is still there for the 6 if we need him, but he's probably going to be in box to box. Marino, I'm not sure that he is an 8. Ødegaard, I'm not sure is a 10. And Nwaneri, I think, is going to be covered for Saka. So it means now we still need to do more in midfield, don't we? I would not be surprised if we brought another one in. Especially now we've brought in Zubimendi this early. I think the positions that we're going to be looking at to back up and cover are probably going to be a midfielder, a defender, and a goalkeeper. So I think those 3 that come in are going to add to the 2 that we want to start, which is a left winger and a striker. That's what I think. So when I look at it, I still think there's a lot to do. However, I think this is a great start. Zubimendi comes in and I think he's a starter in Arteta's eyes. So when we look now at what we might have, it could be an 11 that looks a lot more balanced and a lot stronger than this season. And it might look something similarly to this. Now, I don't know if this is the case before everyone gets excited. I'm not saying these are all going to come to Arsenal. However, do we think this is something that it might look like? We've got Raya in goal still, of course. We've got Timber at right back. We've got Saliba and Gabriel. And we've got Miles Lewis-Skelly, who could be Calafiori, could be a new left back. We don't know. Zinchenko and Tierney, it won't be. They're going. Kivior, we're not sure about. In midfield, Zubimendi, Rice and Ødegaard, I think is what he wants. And then Nico Williams and Gyökeres are the 2 that are being linked with Arsenal. Now, I don't want Nico Williams, but that is the guy that we're linked with. Jamie Gittins is another guy that we're linked with. Nico Williams, for me, I'm not interested. I do not want him. It could be that we have Jamie Gittins that goes in there instead. Let's put him in there. It could be that it's Gittins instead, which a lot of people are happier with than Nico Williams, and I agree with that. I actually agree. I would prefer to see Jamie Gittins in there at Arsenal. I think he's been very good, and people will be screaming, he's 20, he's a youth project, he's a youth He is the one we're linked with. Nico Williams ain't much older. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be one of those 2. I don't think it's going to be Rodrigo. I don't think it's going to be Anthony Gordon. I don't think it's going to be Ademola Lookman. I don't think it's going to be Matoma. Someone will say Brian Mbeumo. He's a right winger. Semenyo, I'm not sure, maybe. But if I'm honest, I think it's going to be Williams, Gittins or Semenyo. One of those 3. Now, we want Rodrigo. We'd love Florian Wirtz and all these guys. Looks like he's gone to Bayern Munich. I don't think they're going to be realistic, guys. I really don't. I just don't. So, at the moment, that looks like similarly an 11 that we're going to be putting out with, which really only has 3 positions that are changed on this season. Zubimendi, a left winger and a striker, who I'm just putting in as Gittins and Gyökeres as the latest rumour. They are the latest. That is literally the strongest of rumours, I would say. Doesn't mean it's happening, by the way. We might not get either. We might not get Gyökeres or Gittins. Looks like Zubimendi's done, but let's be real. We don't know. Anything can change. So then I look at the backup to that, and I think, what backups have we got? Because let's be real, we need 25 players in this squad now. Everybody does. We play too much football. So 25 players is basically that 11 there, right? Not personnel, just 11 of those players. Another 11, because you need a backup to everyone. That's 22. And then a versatile defender, a versatile midfielder, and a versatile front man that can play across the front 3. That's how you get 25, in my opinion, right? So let's just say this season The versatile defender is, wait for it, everyone's going to laugh, Tomiyasu. I know he's injury prone. I know he needs to be gone. He ain't going anywhere because he ain't fit enough to go anywhere, right? So we need the versatile defender is Tomiyasu. The versatile midfielder is Ethan Nwaneri. And the versatile front man is, wait for it again, don't laugh, Gabriel Jesus. Jesus and Tomiyasu are going absolutely nowhere. They will potentially leave in the summer of next year, or maybe they go in January, but they're going to be part of this squad coming up. And I know we don't want them, but it was tough. No one's going to, they can't pass any medicals to go anywhere. So they are stuck with us, right? Talk about that in January. For now, those are the two players that we're going to have as number 24 and 25 in our squad. Whether you love them or hate them, that's going to happen. Number 23 in our squad is Ethan Nwaneri because he can play across the front three. He can play right, he can play attacking, he could play in false nine. He's the guy we're going to have to use as that kind of versatile player who comes on in games where we need him. Arteta at the moment isn't fancying him for whatever reason, but he's going to be that third versatile guy. Now we need to decide oh my God, excuse me, who our first 11 is and our backup 11 is. Because that's what we now need to do. So we start in goal with David Raya. It looks like Joan Garcia is going to come in as our kind of backup from Espanyol. I think Berta is looking at him. I don't know that he's 100% set on it, but a lot of reports are suggesting that he's been the one that we've been looking at as backup for quite some time. He's highly rated in Spain. Even Lee Gunner said he's very good and he watches a lot of La Liga, and he could actually be competition for David Raya. Now, I don't think it'll be another Ramsdale Raya situation, but I do think that he'll be good cover, and I think he'll play a lot more games. And what I mean by a lot more games is he might come into some Premier League games, but he'll definitely play both the domestic cup competitions, which Neto wasn't able to do. So that's your two goalkeepers, okay? Your two right-backs are here, Timber and White. Your two left-backs, I think, are here, Lewis-Skelly and Calafiori, one of which can play in the middle. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that we need another left-back. I don't think we're going to go and buy another left-back. I really don't. I'll be really annoyed if we start buying more left-backs. If I'm honest with you. I appreciate a goalkeeper because the goalkeeper's going out the door. So you have to bring one in, right? Unless you want to play Thomas Setford as your backup goalkeeper, which I haven't seen anything from or of. Then you've got your centre-back situation, which I'm worried about. Now, I'm not worried about Gabriel and Saliba leaving. Not this summer. I saw what judges said yesterday, saying that, he thinks one of them might go and it will free up some finances. If that is the case, Kroenkes, goodbye. Goodbye. Because there is no way we can let one of these two go. We finally got a partnership together. The club surely do not want to lose one of these two. So I can appreciate next summer Real Madrid won't want him. I can appreciate Saudi are interested in Gabriel. Both of them stay for now. They sign new deals and they go. Because contracts mean nothing. People think if you don't sign a contract, you ain't going anywhere. Yeah? But you've got to have the contract so that you get money. That's the only reason you sign a contract now. It's not because you love the club and you want to be here for 9 years like Haaland and Palmer. It's so the club can protect the player's value. And that's what we've got to do now with Gabriel and Saliba. Keep them happy here for now. Let them go next summer if they both want to go. But get them signed. The backups, however, Kivior looks like he wants first-team football, which we can't offer him, so he'll go. Now, Calafiori and Timber can both play at right centre-back and left centre-back, but I don't want that because they're already needed at right-back and backup left-back. So we need to bring in two centre-halves that are going to be backup and happy to be backup. And the two that we've been linked with is left-sided Yoral Harto, who's also linked with Liverpool, and right-sided Dean Howson over at Bournemouth, which from what I hear was sounding quite advanced for Arsenal, which is mad. And funny enough, when he scored against us last weekend, he didn't celebrate, which was a very strange thing to do, in my opinion. So maybe one or two of those are coming in. So that's your back line. You've got your two right backs in Timber and White, your two left backs in Lewis-Skelly and Calafiori, your two left-sided central defenders in Gabriel and Harto, and then your two right-sided centre-halves in Saliba and Howson. Now, if people think I'm playing FIFA or Football Manager here, go for it. I'm just giving you an example of what Arsenal need to do to complete a 25-man squad. If you think we're going to get a 15-man squad or a 20-man squad, that's your opinion. I'm saying what we need to do. What will we do? I don't see into the future. This is what I would be doing in the summer, okay? And then you've got Tomiyasu floating around doing whatever the hell he is, taking win the dog for a walk, right? Then you go into midfield. Party stays, Zubimendi's here. There's your 2 sixes. I'd go and buy a box-to-box midfielder because Rice is then your box-to-box, and then you've got another box-to-box. Let's say it's Reinders coming in. Let's say it's Eze, because we're not going to get Morgan Rogers on top of that, coming in to be attacking midfielder with Ødegaard. Wanyeri is going to be that kind of backup to Bukayo Saka and can play in the middle. You're going to go and buy a left winger. Trossard, I think, should go. Martinelli should stay. And then you've got one of Gittins or Williams, whoever we're going to buy, and Martinelli on the left. And then up top, you've got Gyökeres with Havertz as cover. And then you've got Jesus floating. You've also got Mikel Merino as well, who can come into the midfield, or, of course, as we've seen this season, the attack-minded role. That is a squad big enough, strong enough, and able to compete across 4 competitions. The one we've got at the moment isn't even able to compete in one competition, right? I don't want to compete in one front. I want to compete in 4. Now, a lot of people might think that's really unrealistic, but we're going to need that many players. We're going to need a backup goalkeeper. We're going to need a backup defender or 2 if Kivior goes. We're going to need a, attacking midfielder, another midfielder, a winger and a striker. That's 7 players. We are going to need that. We are going to. People, oh, this is embarrassing. What are you talking about? It's not embarrassing. It's reality. We need 7 players at this club. 7. Not 4, not 3. We need 7. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. And that's if we keep majority of players I'm expecting. If we was to lose a Gabriel or a Saliba, on top of a Party and all these guys that are going, my God, it could be hell. There's so much work for us to do. So much work. And I think we need to be realistic about that. People have got to understand this is now a rebuild. This is not tweak it here and there. As much as people do not want to say it's not a rebuild, it is a rebuild. And you're rebuilding majority of the squad players on top of 2 or 3 in the first team. That's what we're doing. I don't know why people don't want to hear that. It's just reality. Rebuild. They hate that word. Bottling. They hate that word. Call it something else then. Because we need to go and get these players in. Other news before we do come to a close, of course, is the news on William Saliba. This is Berta's next job. Berta's next job is to make sure that William Saliba stays. William Saliba needs to stay. Big time. Look, David Ornstein is reporting that Arsenal have opened talks over a new contract for Saliba. No offer yet, but are expected soon. Dialogue ramps up between Berta and the 24-year-old camp. Now, the French defender is happy at Arsenal, but he'll want terms reflecting the status amid his Real Madrid pursuit. That's come from The Athletic and David Ornstein. Some people think he's unreliable. Some people think he's reliable. All we do on here is share information, but I do have, of course, where I'm at. I think William Saliba will stay at Arsenal this summer. Do I think he'll stay in the future? I think he'll wear a Real Madrid shirt at some stage of his career. I just hope it isn't soon. But what we have to do, and what Berta has to do, is convince the project here that we are close, and just by tweaking a few things and if it's waffle, if you don't believe it, we have to believe that that is the case, and he has to stay. He's a massive, massive player. He, alongside Saka, is our best player, in my opinion. I know at the moment he's got his head turned and the people are saying, sell him, he's not interested. We need to keep William Saliba. We can't let him go. We cannot let him go. If he wants to go, because we're going to have that horrendously bad talk with him, which is, do you want to come to the Arsenal? Do you want to come to Real Madrid? If he wants to go Real Madrid, we have to sell him. And we have to say, give us 150 million, you can have him. If it's next summer, we'll have to say, give us 100 million or 85 million and you can have him. But this is why it's important to sign him up, whatever. And I hope that that's what we'll do. And it'll have to be on 300k a week. It will. It'll have to be on 300k a week. Their job is to work out what they can offer him and what they can afford. And if it's 300, give it to him. He deserves it. He deserves it. He's one of the best players alongside Saka. Him and Saka, they need to be on that money. They need to be. To keep him happy. Because that's what it's about. Like, for me, your best players should be your highest earners. So that's where I'm at. Sophie's asked a good question here in relation to the rest of this season. Big up to you, Soph. Hope you're well. Says, Dan, I have a question. You have Liverpool and then Newcastle. You don't have a good record at Southampton. Is it possible you drop out of the top 5? The reason I don't think it is because mathematically it's like 1,000 to 1 chance of happening. So we'd have to lose all 3. And I think it's like Villa, Chelsea, Forest have to win the last 3 games. And I think some of them have got each other. So it's impossible to happen. I think it's Chelsea have got Forest on the last game of the season. So one of them's losing. I think Newcastle have got Chelsea. So one of them's losing or both of them are losing. I think it's basically impossible. We just got to beat Southampton and we go through. You got to get to 70 points. We're on 67. So we'll get to 70 and we're done. Or are we already on 70? I don't know. Something like that. So it's very, very unlikely that we're going to do that. I personally don't care what happens. I couldn't give a damn where we come, to be honest. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So, yeah, it's not happening. We're going to qualify for the Champions League. Woohoo! Yay! Champions League again. Let's get excited. Bore off. So that's the William Saliba news. There's other news in relation to a striker, which I think is what we're all interested in, really. I know a lot of people are talking about Zubimendi coming in being good, and I agree. I think it is good. But let's just be real. We all want a striker, don't we? Yeah? So let's take a look at the news from Berta. Sami Mokbel has suggested that Berta and his appointment has resulted in Gyökeres stock rising. Sources in recent weeks have indicated there's considerable internal backing for the move, despite much of the groundwork having been completed on a deal for Sesko. Both players have release clauses, but there's indications that both clubs are willing to negotiate lower fees. At this stage, sources suggest that Gyökeres is the most economical signing of the two. That's from Sami Mokbel. Now, do we end up with both Gyökeres and Sesko? Does Arteta get his way and Berta get his way? Do we have money to sign both of these for around 120 million? It would be great if we did. It would be great if we did. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think only one of them is going to come in. I think the other player we get in the attack will probably be a left winger. So I think Gyökeres is the guy that's the kind of ahead of the race. He's the number one target. There keeps being reports that Isak is number one. However, he's unobtainable. So therefore, we go to plan B, which we believe is Gyökeres. And it looks like plan C is, of course, Sesko. Now, Liam Delap and Ollie Watkins are another two names that are mentioned. And Liam Delap would be a fantastic signing for 30 million. Absolute steal for someone. I think Newcastle, I think Manchester United, Chelsea are all going to be very much interested in Delap. And I think that he'd probably fancy them because he's probably more chance of playing first team football at Chelsea or United. With Newcastle or Arsenal, he probably knows he's coming in as a backup because we're going to buy Gyökeres and they're going to buy Isak, or we're going to buy Sesko and they're going to buy it and they've already got Isak. So for me, I'm not sure where Delap's best move will be. I actually think Newcastle will be a really good move for him. I really do. I think Arsenal will be a really good move for him. But we'll see. I would take both Gyökeres and Delap. I think that would be a fantastic summer. For 30 million, it's a steal, isn't it? For Delap. Absolute steal for a backup striker. It really is. It really is. So let's see what happens there. Obviously, we've got the Here We Go news. Bergkamp, 56 today. And then there's news on Trossard, which is quite interesting. Now, I actually think Trossard's going to go. However, Arsenal are in advanced talks with Trossard over a new long-term contract at the club. Now, when they say long-term, he's 30. So I don't know, he's 29. I don't know why we would look at a long-term. Surely we're looking at a couple of years here. I think Saudi are interested. He's rejected an offer of a contract already. It looks like he wants to leave. He's probably got one more big move left in him. And if that big move is Saudi, fair play to him. But at the moment, the club look like they're trying to keep him. So watch what happens here. Watch what happens here. Apparently, 4 minutes ago, it's been reports that Arsenal have submitted their first official offer worth 75 million euros for Victor Gyökeres. Arsenal have already agreed personal terms with the player. Now, that, if true, is exciting. If we're already putting in bids for him, That's pretty impressive. Now, when they say first bid, he has got a release clause, but we don't know what that release clause actually is. In fact, let me search it. It was 84 million, but from what I'm being told, it's gone down again. Let me try and see if I can find what the release clause is. 60 million, apparently, he'll be available for, which is less than his release clause. Still can't find out what it is. I think it's around 75 million. I think it's around 75. I can't find it. It was 84, which was 100 million euros, but now it's gone. It went down to, I think, around 75, but they would take around 60. So if 60 million for Gyökeres is available and 30 million for Delap is available, we've spent 90 million on two strikers. One great one great backup one. It's not going to happen because Havertz is there still and Jesus is there still. So I think it will be just Gyökeres. But I would go for a backup as well. I don't care if it's not Ekitike or Sesko. Liam Delap would be a fantastic signing for Arsenal. Fantastic signing. So that's where I'm at. If we have put in a first official offer, 75 million euros, I think that equates to, let's work out what it is. Is that the release clause or is it just under the release clause? Let's have a look. 75 million euros in pounds is 63 million. So yeah, there we go. So if it is around that, then we're literally just under his release clause. I think it's 65 million euro release clause or something like that. So this is what we're doing. So I would just go release the clause. I mean, I don't know why we're trying to do this again, trying to save money. But if that's what we're putting in first, they might then turn around and say, no, we want the release clause. And then hopefully we'd submit a bid for the release clause. But that is very, very interesting if that is the case. Very, very interesting. What else is there on here? Martinelli. Arsenal's priority to extend the contracts of Saliba, Saka and Gabriel. Al Nassr are serious about signing Gabriel. Martinelli is also drawing interest from Saudi Arabia, but he's another player that could be offered fresh terms. That's come from Ben Jacobs just now, literally a few minutes ago half hour ago. Martinelli. Wow. What do we do? If Saudi want Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Martinelli might be one that leaves. Obviously, Saliba and Gabriel we want to keep keeping. Martinelli, if Saudi are going to offer silly money, real talk, if they're going to offer 70 million, I'd sell him. If they're going to offer 20, I'd keep him. If they're going to offer 70 million plus, or even 65 million plus, I'd sell Martinelli. We bought him for 6 million. So, it could be that a lot of people are saying there's going to be a casualty that everyone's going to be upset about. It could be that it's Martinelli leaving. Could be. If we can get 65, 70 million from Saudi for Martinelli, I'd sell him. Trossard, if they want him, they can pay 35 for him as well. We get 100 million for these two players. We go and get a proper forward and winger with that money. Yeah, that's what we could do. So there's a lot that could happen. And it's all about who's interested and domino effects and who wants your players and et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be a big summer. It's going to be interesting. Watch this space. Zubimendi is here we go. Looks like Victor Gyökeres is definitely the guy that we want. Players up for grabs with contracts. Berta's got a big job on his hand. Berta's now got Zubimendi in. He needs to go and get Gyökeres in. He needs to sign up the players on their contracts, the Salibas, Gabriel, Sakas of this world. Make a decision on Martinelli and Trossard. Go and bring in that left winger. And then you look at your backup goalkeeper and your backup defender. That would be a very good summer. You look at the surgery in midfield, sort the players you want to sign them up on contracts. Go get your striker and winger. Go get your backup defender and backup striker and backup goalkeeper. That would be a phenomenal window. Omar says, isn't it funny how this comes out 2 days after Paris? Yes, it is. It's all PR. But this is all we can do, mate, is report on it, Omar. Ali D says, Arsenal's PR working their magic, yet a lot of Arsenal fans are angry and annoyed. So let's release the signing news. This club, man. Yeah, and new merch as well, bro. New merch. Let's not forget the new merch. Look, it's great we're doing it early. I think that's great. I'm not going to sit here and slag the club off for going in there early. I think it's a really good thing that they're doing it early. However, they don't read the room at Arsenal very well, is what I would say. They do not read the room very well at all. Unfortunately, there is a lot of hatred towards the club's PR, and I totally get why. I'm one of them. I don't know why we have to bring out new merch, and I don't know why we have to be in all the time talking about, you know, we're bringing this new top out. We're bringing these new China vases out. Look at win the dog toy. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. No, I'm not interested in all that. I want to win trophies. That's what I want to do. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Somebody asked in the chat what my dream summer would be. Realistically, happy with Joan Garcia as a goalkeeper backup. Fine by me. I want Yoral Harto and I want Dean Howson. I want Reinders. I want Alex Baena or Eze. I want as a left winger. Personally, it probably would be Eze or Lookman and Gyökeres. That's what I want. 7 players. That would be the dream. Who knows what we're getting? You can only report on what you want. I ain't got a Scooby what you're going to do. Arsenal, no, and they might not do anything. But I think with Andrea Berta coming in, that we will. AMC says, me only. I don't want Nico Williams. He's a dud like G-Mark. Look, I don't want Nico Williams either, if I'm honest with you. I do not want him. Sanket's another player that I would be very interested in the attacking midfield role from Atletico Madrid. Athletic Club. I think he is the one for that club that we should get over Nico Williams personally, but that's just me. Look, if I had my hands on Arsenal, I'd be sacking the manager, bringing in someone that I believed was good enough, that has a CV that says I win, and then going on and doing the business with Berta about who we bring in. But I don't run Arsenal, unfortunately. Rafael Leao, no, not for me. Not for me. I can see that in the chat. Rodrigo, yes, but I don't know that he's going to play. That he's going to play. That we're going to go for him. Are Real Madrid going to sell Rodrigo and Arda Güler? I don't know. I'd take them both if they are, but I don't know that they are. There's rumours, suggestions. We don't know anything yet. It's very early. Window's not even open. I will be bringing my transfer news shows back, so make sure you take a look out for them. And I'll be back tomorrow for This Is London in the evening. So I will see you for that one. Yeah, that's it from me. Zubimendi to Arsenal. Here we go. Hopefully it's the first of many. And big up to all of you. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, please, people. At the moment, where are we? We are only 387 away from 40k. 387. If there's 387 people here that can hit subscribe, we'll hit 40k. And there's 1.2k in the building. And I just need a quarter of you to hit subscribe. That's all I need. Like, subscribe. It's free. Please subscribe so we can get to 40k. It'd be amazing if you can hit subscribe on this video so that we can get there. I don't always beg for them, but I do when we get this close to 40k. So hit the subscribe button, people, and we will see you next time. We're out. Take care. Up the Arsenal.